to the next presentation in track 2. This is by Mr. Yan-Ming Chen. Now, before we begin, allow me to first introduce Mr. Yan-Ming Chen. Yan-Ming leads Foundstone Consultants to provide strategic security consulting services to Global 2000 clients. With almost a decade of experience in business development, IT, and security, Yan-Ming brings extensive knowledge in both business and technology to his clients. Yan-Ming established the Asian Pacific branch in Singapore for Foundstone and has been instrumental in growing business for Foundstone in APAC. He has performed security assessments for security technologies, ISA server, firewall, and other security products, business applications, financial applications, CRM and tech software, and other technologies like multifunctional office equipment and IPTV. He contributed to 4 books and numerous articles published on security focus and other magazines. He is also a frequent speaker for conferences like CSI, MISTI, and others, including Hack in the Box. And he served as a lead instructor for Foundstone's Ultimate Hacking Series classes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Yan-Ming Chen will be presenting Triple Play, Triple Threats, IPTV Security. Please join me in welcoming him.
In the presentation today, we'll talk about the agendas. The first thing we'll talk about the triple play strategy. That's how the IPTV plays for the telecom, and also the business case. And the second thing is we'll talk a little bit about IPTV introduction, talk about the use cases, the architectures, and how it works. And then we'll talk about IPTV security. We'll talk about some things we have seen on the field work and heard about it, or other things, and to show security problems. And then we'll talk about countermeasures, how if you are working for a telecom or any other related companies, what you can do in order to protect yourself or protect your customers. And then in the end, it's the conclusion. So it's just a little bit introduction of myself, and I'll skip this one since it's already done by Amy. And so before I start everything, just want to let everyone know that do not try this at home. Okay, so anything you get to know or you get to see from this presentation, just make sure that you have to be authorized in order to perform any kind of testing if you are going to do that at home. So first thing, let's talk about the IPTV market. Right now, the IPTV, the major component, is part of the triple play. And what we call triple play is the data, voice, and also the video, all on the same network from the same telecom. Okay, and from the purpose of telecom to push this IPTV strategy is purely to increase the average revenue per unit. They want more money from you. Okay, so that's why they want to push more information, push more content to you in order to make business. And there are currently about 2 million IPTV subscribers worldwide. We're talking about Europe, Asia, and North America. And this is, of course, according to some marketing research. And so far, right now, out of this 2 million people, the Europe actually is the most mature market, and then lead by Asia, and the US is actually catching up too. And according to another marketing research company, iSupply, they're expecting 63 million subscribers in 2010. And that basically means the business is generating $2 billion dollars of revenue now, and is expecting for 26 billion in 2010. So this is something that telecom is using or building now in order to make money in the future and in order to compete with the local cable companies. And however, IPTV is not something just created yesterday, last night. It has been there since about 1995. Remember the web TV Microsoft was pushing? It's still there. It's MSN TV now. But that thing was just never get mature like today. Okay, so it takes about 10 years or maybe longer for the technology to go through different stages and finally adopted by telecoms and use that as a business case or as a way to make more revenue. So this is just a revenue graph for revenue forecast. In 2004, it's probably a little bit over $1 billion. And then in 2005, 2006, right now, 2006 is about $2 billion total. And as you can see, Europe is making the most money, and APAC, even though there might be more subscribers like PCCW, actually they are one of the largest IPTV provider in the world. And so they are expecting the revenue is growing more and more in the next couple of years. So now let's talk about there are different forms of IPTV services. The first form is part of the triple play strategy. We're talking about this as from the telecom's perspective. Like you are a local telecom, you already provide phone services, you already provide data services like internet ISP, and now you want to provide the content of video. So the good thing about using telecom's own network is it's very easy to control quality. Okay, if you ever try to watch TV through any type of streaming protocols over the internet, the only thing you will worry about is really the quality, the performance. And if you are doing that as a business, part of the business for the telecom can actually control the quality of service on their own network in order to give you more bandwidth to enjoy the normal definition or even high definition TV content in the future. The second type is a standalone service provider. So they pretty much like probably sell you a set-top box, and you can go home, install the set-top box, connect to your television, and using the internet as their own backbone. And you can watch TV content from China, and while you are sitting somewhere in London or any other places on Earth. Okay, so that's a standalone service provider. They are not depending on any telecom. They are not depending on any other companies. And technology used that other than the standard web TV we have seen or the real-time streaming protocol, we have also seen new things like peer-to-peer streaming. Okay, so that's kind of program people wrote from China, and not talking about whether it's legal or not for the content, but they are using peer-to-peer streaming in order to streaming TV content to everywhere around the world. The quality is not that good because basically all the traffic goes through the internet, and there's no control. No one has the control for the internet to guarantee the quality. And there are others, short videos, small videos like with lower resolutions like YouTube, Google Video, other video bloggers, or like Microsoft right now. Recently they have the MSN video services. Those are the others, but most of the time those videos are not with good quality for you to play on the TV. And according to the marketing research group, there are actually over 350 IPTV service providers worldwide right now. It's kind of surprising to hear that number, but I guess if you look at it from like 10 years down the road, then there are a lot of standalone service providers in different regions. And also there are 60 different vendors. They are providing either hardware, software, middleware, and all kind of product from set-top boxes to different encoding servers, streaming server, and all that. And today our discussion will actually focus on the first type of IPTV, which is part of the triple play strategy by the telecom. But I just wanted to give you a high-level overview of what other things there are or other possibilities there are. So for telecom, there are, they already have the phone service, they have the data services, so there are a lot of known security problems. For the data services, home computers were being turned into zombies and used that for phishing, spamming, or even the denial of service attack agents. So those are the things that people already know. And voice over IP, okay, so we'll have the Grok talk about this tomorrow. But basically, in summary, voice over IP is the second, actually, the telecom has the voice over landline in the beginning, and now they're also moving to voice over IP to save more money. And the problem with voice over IP, of course, you have conversation eavesdropping, you have phreaking, or how we call like making free phone calls, and device insecurity, denial of service problem, and so on. Tomorrow you can go to the Grok's presentation and you can learn more about VoIP security. But these two items are part of the triple play strategy, and they have their known securities already. And we just want to look at, once the telecom introduce IPTV, what kind of other new security problems they are going to introduce too. So the next slide, we will talk, give a high-level overview of IPTV. So in a simple word, basically IPTV provide video contents offered on your broadband network. Okay, so there are normal subscriptions like your daily channel, you watch BBC, you watch CNN and all that content, you get that on IPTV service. And there are video on demand, where whenever you want to buy something or you want to watch some movies, you can actually purchase that on the fly and watch it for a 24-hour period or however the telecom is going to charge you. And then there could be interactive applications. For example, you might have web browsing, that's pretty basic, email, online games, and others. There are so many different services in Asia-Pac service providers, like they could provide karaoke or even like online ATM, things like that. So in the future, I think there will be more security problems once people begin to introduce more and more new interactive applications. And basically, we will see more new stuff. But today, we will be more focusing on the subscription part and video on demand part. The architecture part, we will look at IPTV, and I basically split the IPTV into three components. The first one is content source, the second part is delivery and management network, and then the third part is home network. Okay, so we kind of want to walk through the IPTV as a home user. So a user probably don't feel the difference between the technology you're using. Either it's a cable modem or it's using the ADSL with IPTV. It doesn't matter too much. So we kind of like walk through and basically to understand the user experience. First of all, if there is something called home gateway, boots up and authenticates to the server. This architecture is not being used by every vendor. So some of the telecoms, they are starting an initiative called Home Gateway Initiative. You can go to that organization, www.homegatewayinitiative.org. That organization, they are trying to create an architecture where every home has something called Home Gateway, which has the functionality of wireless router, broadband sharing, and also providing a multicast proxy and all this necessary functionality for home entertainment. So think about it like a gateway between the telecom and also your home devices. So if there is such device, then you basically boot up and authenticate. If not, then basically it's the same, your set-top box is actually behind the DSL modem. And then you boot up the set-top box, which before you turn on the TV. Usually the set-top box will use DHCP to acquire IP addresses, and using either TFTP, trivial FTP, or network file system to get the configuration file or the latest boot images. So the telecom can perform like centralized control or centralized management. And then either the set-top box would authenticate with MAC address, which we've seen quite a lot, or random nonce, or something like involve public key and private key if the service provider implemented like digital rights management. So after the set-top box successfully authenticates itself to the network, basically it's being authorized to watch TV or purchase video on demand. It will begin to you can begin to choose and watch your channel. Most of the channel content is broadcast or multicasted by IP. So there are two different types. One is unicast and one is multicast. Most of the time, well, basically it's using multicast, and unicast was only being used when you are changing channel. Okay, well, actually it depends on the vendor implementation. So there are vendors, they implement unicast. So when you change channel very fast, like your channel switching, and it will use unicast to broadcast, to send the content to you, so to reduce the delay. And in order to normally join a channel or leave a channel, pretty much basically every channel in that service provider has an IGMP network address and port number. So when you need to watch a certain